Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim or Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, this video, Trump actually was explaining his experience with Section 8 to Black people, and a lot of people were not having it because they felt like they said, the devil is always a liar, according to what they were saying and all that. And now let's get into the fact that he had his campaign in Detroit, and that was actually in the hood, right? So being there, the truth is that there were no black people there. It was like, according to him, he said it was black, the campaign was for black people. Everybody there were all white. And he is still insisting that it is a black people campaign. The black people there were not more than 5, 6. And I am asking, I don't know why they want to be victims so bad, because they were trying to tell us that why he connects so much to black people is because black people have suffered oppression, and he has also suffered oppression. How did he suffer oppression? Because he has done some not good things, and which he was indicted, and probably now he is facing some charges. How I can see the relationship between doing something and being systematically oppressed. They are not the same thing. And all of a sudden, because black people like sneakers, so he decided to make sneakers so black people can, like, really, I just do not understand his campaign idea. But you know what? Let's get into this.
Okay, so this is the black church that Donald Trump recently visited. And how freaking pathetic is this? So Charlie Kirk made a video during this time Donald Trump was at this church. And it was a video of Donald Trump in a group of black people. It was about 8 to 10 black people, all wearing MAGA hats, off in the corner. And Charlie Kirk is standing up there and he's like, look at this. You think Joe Biden could do this? Basically using these black people as tokens. And here's the thing. We understand that there are black people who support Donald Trump. That that's not up for argument. Like, we know that those people exist. What's pathetic is that you guys fill a church up with a bunch of normal white MAGAs, and then when the people in Donald Trump's camp, what they did is they panned the audience really quickly and then went back to the stage because they knew there were no black people there. They filled up a black church with white people and then touted how Donald Trump is a man of black people. Like, how pathetic is that? Did you guys really think we weren't going to see this? You thought you were going to get away with this. How freaking pathetic is that? Period.
So this past weekend, Donald Trump was a speaker at a black church in Detroit, in the hood. This was supposed to be a Blacks for Trump event, right? And you would think if this is a Blacks for Trump event, that there would be mostly black people at this event. Now, I saw clips of the event, right, with them answering questions and stuff like that. I think I saw Byron Donalds, I saw Ben Carson, but most of the black people at the event looks to be members of the church, right? And it looked like it was the senior members of the church, the deacons, the deaconesses, the mother of the church secretary, head of the students board, lead of the choir, those type of people were at the event, right? This is what Kellyanne had to say about this event.
Biden's not doing anything like that. Look at the contrast of just this weekend. You got Donald Trump in Detroit talking to 8,000 people, and then at a black church, of course. By the way, he did that. Biden's not.
All they do is lie. Lie, 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 lie. All they do is lie. If their lips are moving, all they do is lie. A church in Detroit, 8,000 black people were there to listen to Donald Trump. This is what Kellyanne Conway is peddling. And they lie as if there isn't proof out there to contradict the lies. Here's scenes from the church. Here's another angle from the church. Now, if you're saying to yourself, that's a whole lot of white people in the audience sitting out in the pews, you would be right, because here's another angle from the front of the church while Ben Carson is speaking. Whole lot of white people in that audience sitting in the pews. And the black people that you saw there, the word on the curb is that those black people were bussed in, they were paid to be there. So Donald Trump and his campaign are still continuing to push this narrative that they've got all of this black support. Okay. And before I go, let me explain to you why they are continuing to push this narrative that Donald Trump has all of this support from the black community. It's because their racist asses believe that the whole entire black community is a monolith. And they believe if black people think that a whole bunch of black people are supporting him, that other black people will follow along to support him too. Yeah. What can I say? Racist people are simple-minded.
You mentioned Section 8, and I built Section 8 housing. I built quite a bit of it. And I did it initially with my father, and we were successful at it. But it was crazy because essentially there was no rent. You paid no rent. And people would come up to us and say, you know, I don't have to live for free, but if you could help me, it would be good. I say, the program is you pay nothing or you pay everything. There was nothing in between, right? And people were saying, I don't want to do that. I mean, I want to help. And they end up taking it, they lived literally for nothing. The problem was there was no money left for anybody else. So people that wanted subsidized housing, they wanted housing to help their family and to live and everything else, they couldn't get the housing. The Section 8 program, it was a crazy program. People were saying, I want to pay something. And a lot of people came up to me, they said, because I knew it very well, I knew that program very well, and they wanted to pay something, they couldn't do it. You got it for almost nothing. But there was nothing left over for a lot of other people. It was a crazy program, actually, really a crazy government program. Ben Carson would know that better than anybody because he had to live with it. But that's, your story is an amazing story, and thank you, Valerie, very much. Appreciate it.
The nerve of this guy to bring up Section 8 to a whole bunch of black people, knowing damn well they didn't let us have FHA like they let every nuclear suburban family have. And the funny thing is, this dude's going to act like we use Section 8 as some type of handout when him and his daddy sat there and used government subsidies to make money buying buildings off tax dollars monies. And they pissed off because they had to rent to people that look like me and the people he talking to around that crowd. And that's why the fuck he got sued for $100 million for racial discrimination, because him and his little spoiled ass daddy didn't want to rent to people that look like me and the people in that room. So I mean, honestly, if you look like me and you listen to that dude like he's going to save you or some shit, you got fed a turd sandwich because he's some straight bullshit. So if you want to get some more bullshit, watch Bullshit News, and thanks for watching, everyone.
You mentioned Section 8, And I built Section 8 housing. I built quite a bit of it.
You know, the devil is such a liar. He is such a liar. When him and his father was doing the business in New York, they were mostly going to places in Manhattan, and they were going to lower parts of Brooklyn, but pretty much dominated Manhattan. When they went to the Bronx, it was to try to segregate and trying to move out the people who were residents in the Bronx, and it was mostly black and brown. Okay? He wanted to take, his father and him was like the mob. Okay? They basically were doing tarnishment to the Bronx to try to alienate and get rid of the people them out there, because they want, for years he always wanted to change the infrastructure of the Bronx to make it to be another second part of uptown Manhattan. Okay? Similar to like Harlem, but he wanted the Bronx to be the new Manhattan. Okay, to put his upscale big wigs up in there. Okay, to this day they're trying to do it, and they're doing it now. Moving right along, he never, matter of fact, he had multiple lawsuits, his father and him, from the EOC, which is the Equal Opportunity, and for also the violation of housing. Okay, every day the committees and people were giving him citation because he would not allow black people or brown people coming into his buildings, especially the buildings that had his logo on it, which is Trump Towers. Okay. One time there was a homeless lady, I think she had, for some reason, she was a squatter. And he was going around campaigning, trying to find ways to get rid of the woman. And apparently the lady had an accident where she had to stay there. She had to stay there more years. And I think he was mad that the lady was living in his apartment building for so much years, and they had to cover the bill. Then as soon as the lady was able enough to recuperate and all that situation happened, then he pretty much had found ways to get rid of her. And as a matter of fact, he took the lady to the Trump Pavilion, which is located in Jamaica Hospital near the Van Wyck Expressway, to have her there as admitted, to make it look like she has a mental problem. All right, just to get her out of the building, because he didn't want all that bad press to come upon him, because he wanted to make sure that his buildings were high scale. When he had those casinos in Las Vegas, he did not want black people there. Okay, but coming back to Manhattan, and this is what I know, he ruled Manhattan, and he ruled it with an iron fist and made sure that certain people were segregated from Manhattan. He did not want any type of black people to be in his building. He did not create public housing. This man is a liar. Okay, everyone in New York, whether they're baby boomers, Generation X, we know the real truth. His father was like a mob. Every time in the Bronx, you kept on seeing buildings being torn down and burnt. Okay? Innocent people were in victim in the fire. And to this day, they don't really know who has started it, but they were saying land developers. I remember one time they had alleged investigation on his father because they wanted to know, why is it that his team of people keep on shelling out and vandalizing these buildings? And then by the time you turn around, it was under his property management. Okay? Because his father was under the mob. All right? That's how he got these buildings. All right? And that's how he came and run Manhattan. And everybody in New York knows that story. Okay? And that's a truthful story. And that's no slander. Okay? That's the straight, honest truth. His father was like a pirate, just like him. All right? He did not do no public housing. A matter of fact, when he was a president, he appointed Ben Carson. And to me, Ben Carson was an idiot. You know why I say he was an imbecile? Because, and this is not bullying, this is a straight fact. For a man that's so highly intelligent, and you developed a technique in science, you go turn around and you become the Department of Housing, considering the fact that you knew how it was to be poor, because you had a mother that was working in domestics and she was struggling just to make ends meet to support her children. And considering the fact she was a single mother, regardless if she did not be in the system or not, she was 2 paychecks away to be in the system. Okay, because you even mentioned it, because I read his book. Okay, And he talked about the poverty that he was living in, especially around the people in his neighborhood. He had to move out from areas because his mother didn't want him to be associated or getting into any gang or any type of bad scenario. And I'm talking about Ben Carson, the gentleman that he assigned, who was a doctor, who is a neurosurgeon. He assigned him to do public housing. No, to deal with HUD, with government and public housing and sanction. He was recruiting for all the minorities to be out of public housing. Some of you black people should remember this, because he put it on his executive order by the help of Ben Carson to eliminate people. Some of y'all didn't receive your food stamps. Some of y'all were being evicted from your homes and all kinds of stuff like that. You forgot when he was a president that he turned around and tried to tell you guys that you no longer could be a part of the welfare system or getting public housing? A lot of y'all have a lot of amnesia. But I remembered it. And you guys were throwing salt at Ben Carson. But Ben Carson was just following the protocol, what Mr. Trump was giving him when he was the president. And then when that situation happened, it was on the news where people were crying and screaming and saying why their things are being shut off. And it was mostly people in the black community. So he was not helping the people down with public housing. Okay, he was trying to eliminate public housing because it was public housing that was giving him citations and sending him and getting violation fines when the time when him and his father was developing when they were doing real estate. Okay, and to this day they still have cases against him about that. Okay, we're telling because he said public housing is and rent control is going to ruin the economy. When he was running when he was at the time as a businessman, okay, and even when he was a president, when he came there, he tried to eliminate a lot of things that could have been help and beneficial to people of low income, and he was trying to target against people like us, okay. I just want you guys to remember, okay, some of the things that he did when he was a former president. All right. And he had people that look like us was sitting there helping him. Okay. Just like he had Mr. Brian Daniels sitting there at the corner telling us about Jim Crow laws, which is a slap in the face to us. That he coming around and talking and referring to Donald Trump about public housing. He frowned upon public housing. Anybody that lives in New York can know the story. And I'm telling you because I'm a New Yorker.
So this is all I got from this tissues, and I really don't know. I mean, he has really been pushing this for so long, and I think he is lying to his audience and lying for no just reason, because I don't see a reason why he is pushing the fact that black people are supporting him so bad, because I don't know why he is using black people so bad. I mean, that is Detroit, and he said it was a black church that he went to. But I do not see a lot of black people, no more than 6 persons, right? The rest are all palm colored. So why is it that he is pushing that? I mean, he met a lot of black people, and black people are showing support. Black people are all out there for him, when I am not seeing a lot of people supporting him. I think he can actually do his campaign. I mean, it's okay to do his campaign without having to involve black people being there, or without having to involve that black people are always out for him and the rest of it, because this is actually not making sense. And must they always look for a way to get black people into whatever they are doing? It looks like if they do not have black people in whatever they are doing, it looks like it's not complete. But I think it should be complete, because I don't see a reason why you are claiming black people were all there when it was just all wide campaign and just few people, like 5, 6 black people, which might actually be bought. And I have seen a lot of people coming out at the campaign ground, most especially to talk about Donald Trump and said so many great things about him, which most of the people had got their check. Because I really don't see how people, and the fact that he's also trying to let you all know that you all were persecuted or you all are still like being oppressed, and also he is oppressed. Like they really want to be victims so bad. What's that? Sorry, I didn't know. I saw something flying around. So they want to be victims so bad. That's why they want to look for a way to get themselves in Black community. Because when his sneakers came out, he said, I know Black people love sneakers. That's why he made sneakers. So Black people, they are all thinking about sneakers because they want to wear sneakers for the rest of their lives. When people are out there getting reparations, when people are out there getting a lot of good jobs, making money and all that, all you are thinking of us is sneakers. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.